Welcome to another episode of Hip Hop Hoops Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Igadero.
And I'm your co-host, Chris Blackwood. What up, what up, what up, what up? Let's go.
Listen, man, we want to thank everybody who's been supporting us.
Thank you.
Keep showing love, man.
Yes.
Run up those numbers on YouTube, man.
Run them up.
If you don't want to watch, listen, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, we're everywhere. Just go show some love, man. Hip Hop Hoops. You dig? Shout out Tidal League, man. Distant cousins.
Distant cousin, emoji fingers. You know that. You know the emoji. If you have an iPhone, I don't know about the Android. My bad. No disrespect. But emoji fingers on the iPhone. You already know. Tidal League. It is what it is. And don't forget to check out the website, man. You know what we're doing. You know how we doing it.
We got a special guest, though, man.
Bars.
We got a special guest.
Bring it back.
Jon Kabongo's in the building. Let's go.
Hey.
Yo, appreciate it, man. We've been from last summer, we've been trying to get this done.
Yes.
We're here now.
We're here now. We are here now.
Let's get it.
Listen, man. Are we gonna start off with this? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
I think we got to put everybody on notice. This is hip hop hoops.
This is the epitome of hip hop hoops.
So before we get into the hoops, let's get into the hip hop.
Man, let's go.
I want chin up these bars.
you guys asked me to, rap about hoops and how hip hop is connected, right?
Come on.
I feel like I just gotta talk about that a little bit.
That's our passion, right? That's your passion too, both hip hop and hoops.
And the worlds go together, right? They collide.
Yes.
Can't have one without the other.
Absolutely not.
So, it's cool with you. I could just, acapella.
Let's go,
Chin
man.
up these bars. Let's go.
So I said, I saw kids that would play on the same run, become each other's ops and hunt each other with guns. Some OBA teams was asking for funds that was not that affordable for some kids in the slums. The drums of the trap songs fueling the locker room, shot with tunes in my ears and layup lines every June. Hip hop and hoops then jump the broom. No divorce discourses or forfeits is coming soon. I remember Citywide League at John Ennis, where the killer crossovers made him overzealous.
Yep.
Some ignored all the advice that a coach would tell us. Some were buying to a dream that a team would sell us, and end up disappointed, didn't get the looks. And all that pain you had to feel gets put inside a hook. Yep. You know the usual, the hoopers trying to turn to rap. Some see it as a clout chase. I think it's more than that. Self-expression was no option in the ball scene. When you get it out the mud, you need a deep clean. That's what them bars do. A real man is not afraid to write and talk to you. I'm speaking for a larger group that feels so misunderstood because the people view them only as a hooper and ignore the raps they execute. Look, I ain't coming here to look cute. I'm trying to make sure that the court the only place they shoot.
I'm about
Let's
to do
go.
some reps. Chin up.
Do that.
That's how you chin up them bars. We be chinning up bars on the court, in the weight room, and on the mic. This is Hip Hop Hoops, baby.
Let's go.
You heard it first. It's an exclusive.
Sir.
Yo.
Exclusive.
I don't even know what to say after that one, man. That's
I want to throw this phone, man. I love this iPhone, man. I love this iPhone right here. Man.
Yo.
Yes, sir.
Man.
we gonna go back to the hoops, man.
Yeah, let's go.
We want to know like your passion
Yeah.
for basketball. Your sister was a hooper. We know your brother was just come on.
Yep.
Come on.
We know what it
explain?
is. We know what it is.
You know, where's your passion? Did you see them coming up and just like,
Bro, I just feel like when you're a little kid and you see your older siblings doing something,
Yeah.
you just want to run around and do what they're doing,
Mm.
And from a very young age, I saw my siblings, my brothers, all my brothers, not everybody went the D1 level, but I had other brothers, they loved basketball too,
right?
and, my older sister, she would play with my brothers, so I would want to tag along.
Or she was a problem.
So,
Sure, she was a problem.
it took me a while to be my sister one-on-one, but she remembers when I did it, and from there it was over. But
Right.
I think that was really what it was, coming from like a basketball family, seeing it all the time. Like I just felt like, it's something that was just natural to love. They were always watching basketball. That's always the video game we played. It was always NBA Live or NBA 2, So it was just like in the mornings, like I was taught to watch the score, you know? So to me, it's like,
Wow.
I feel like I don't even remember where it came from. I just think it was there,
How was the house? Like, were you guys super competitive when you guys were in the
course.
house? Like, let's go outside one-on-one. Let's do it.
Of course. My brother would never let me win in anything. Like,
Right.
like never, nothing. And mind you, I'm younger. I'm 7 years younger than him.
Right.
And like, I think that was good though. They taught me to like fight for things and compete. And like, I'm grateful for that, because that's exactly what you need, to make it far in this game, right?
Right. But I just want to talk about your brother real quick, Mike. This guy was all world.
All
McDonald's
world.
All American.
Yup.
Like we're not talking like we're not talking about the Canadian. We're talking all of Mickey D's.
Yep.
Yup.
Like this is top 24 players in the country. You know, going to Texas, one and done, NBA, signing with Clutch Sports, LeBron's agency. Did you ever? Was there any? Like how was things with that growing up in the house? Like you see him and you're like, man, like how was that for you?
It was inspiring. It made me realize it was possible. Like this was my older brother. I saw what he did, and I was like, okay, so this is doable.
Right.
So if anything, I just always felt like as long as I worked hard enough, I could make it as far as I can make it.
Facts.
So I think, the game is, complicated sometimes, and there's things that you can't control and that you can't control. But I think the one thing I took from that was that like just work hard and you can get to where you want to get to.
Right. Did you ever feel like, did it ever bug you when people are like, yo, that's Mike's little bro. That's Mike's little bro.
Yeah, no, because I would just be like, okay, like, like I hope people don't just assume that like I can't hoop myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I always wanted to make sure people knew I could hoop.
Right.
So I never wanted to like lead with that because then that distracts from like what I'm doing.
Right.
And I think as I got older, you just get used to it because it's like, okay, like this is what it is. But yeah, I think especially like early stages, like when I was still finding myself as a player, it was hard because I'm like, yo, like I just want to prove that I could hoop,
Right.
I don't want to just come in and say like, oh, my older brother is so I can hoop, Nah.
And you earned everything too, so
Exactly.
nothing was given to you because that's my big bro.
Definitely.
Facts. So how was that experience? Let's just fast forward just a little bit. The Huntington Prep.
Yeah.
How was that experience there?
Honestly, I think that was one of the best things for my life in general because I feel like I had to grow up. Like I went there. I was the youngest on the team. I was the only freshman on the team. Everybody was upperclassmen. Like it was the first time where I had to realize like, the minutes that I wanted weren't just gonna come like that.
Back, you have to
And
work
like,
for it.
And I really appreciate my coach, Arkell Bruce from Huntington Prep, because like he would always tell me like, you're just not ready. You're not ready. You're not ready. And like that year alone, I always felt like I was trying to prove something to him, and he saw a lot in me. And then it was just crazy how like as the season went on, we go to the national tournament, and I'm getting more minutes, towards the end of the year than I did in the beginning of the year, and like to me that just showed like he just really wanted me to work for it, and like when he started to have confidence in me on the biggest stage, I was like, something about this guy like shows that like he sees something in me, and like I think with that first year happening and then my second year playing more, but then having to deal with injuries a little bit and then going to third year where like, I was starting and stuff like that. It was like, it was good to have, that understanding of working your way up. Because I was playing behind like top 100 guys, and like even though I was young, I still had confidence. Like, yo, I could play, but he was just reminding me like, you got to earn it. And I'm grateful for that because that's a life lesson. It was
That's tough going there as a freshman doing prep. So you went there all 4 years and then
No, I was there for 3 years.
3 years and came back,
yeah.
right? So like how did you manage when he's telling you like, bro, you ain't ready? Because that could damage some kids, man.
Yeah, I was hurt, but he was real. But it wasn't in like a I don't like you way.
Right.
He's like, you got to work out more. Come work out. Work out when you think you can chill because they're chilling. Like, no, you got to come get extra shots. What are you doing? Come stay at my house. We're going to the gym. Different things like that. It wasn't just like, oh, you're not ready, I'm gonna ignore you. It was like you just need to work.
Right.
He was giving you that invite.
Right.
Like, come stay at my spot so we can go to the gym the next morning. Right.
Who were some of the guys on your team at that time?
Man, my first year was Miles Bridges, Curtis Jones. I don't know if you know him, but he played at like Indiana, Penn State. We had a
So you
Yeah,
were
Thomas Bryant was my
Thomas
first
Bryant?
year.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Was he at Denver? He's at Denver now, right?
He
Played
is,
for the
right?
Lakers?
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
he's at
Yep.
Denver
Okay.
He
now.
is. Yep. But
On that deep squad.
honestly,
Mhm.
like that whole squad was like 4 stars. Like
Right,
a
right.
lot of guys went high major, and then like the following year we had another like star pack team.
Yeah.
So all those guys were before you. Xavier,
Yeah, that's before me.
Wiggins.
Before me.
I'm trying to figure out like why all the Canadians go to that school.
I don't know.
So
That's a good question. Like,
because they got you, Xavier, Wiggins. They got Negus went there.
yeah, I guess Arkell just started to like Canadians, but
Right.
I think it's nothing like Toronto or Canada.
No, West Virginia is
like it's a different place. So
right, nothing but mountains and stuff.
nothing
over
but
there.
mountains, bro. So
Yeah.
I don't think there's any like attraction other than just like the basketball program.
Mm. Who were some of the notable teams or games that you guys played?
Or
Like
players, like
Man, we played every. I always say, and it's ironic, the 2 best players I ever played against were Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Like those were the 2 guys when we played them. I was like, these guys are just better. Like they are advanced basketball players. We just couldn't stop them. It was frustrating,
But that's when you know you're nice. Like when you can frustrate
Just
the
seeing
defense.
Tatum in high school, even seeing Jaylen Brown in high school was crazy.
It's
like,
nuts.
Those guys are like men.
It was, and we had dogs too, right? We had Miles Bridges.
He was tough. Yeah.
Miles Bridges. He still is a hooper. So to me, it was just like, we played all the top guys. Because it was national schedule. But I think the best team was probably like that Montverde team.
Montverde.
When they had Marcus, RJ, Simi, EJ Montgomery. Who else did they have? They had everyone. They had everyone. And that game, we went down there, and like I was like, yo, this is. Some of my friends were on that team. I'm like, yo, this squad is crazy.
Wasn't Andrew Nemhard on that team?
No. He came the year after.
He came the year after.
I think that the Montverde team, not that one, but the one with Scotty, that might have been the deepest team.
I never played them
because they had all leaguers. Moses Moody.
Yeah,
they had
that team was.
Yeah, they had Scotty. They had I think Ben Simmons on there.
No. Ben Simmons was when I was grade 9. He was like 2015. That was Ben Simmons. Who was it? And Derek. No, Derek Thornton played Finley.
Or did they have D'Lo on that team? Was D'Lo on there?
No, D'Lo was the year before when Ben Simmons was younger.
Okay.
Who was on Ben Simmons'
I don't
team?
even know where they came from. Montverde. Where'd that school come from?
That's a good
question.
question.
They just came out of nowhere and just was loaded because that wasn't like the original. Like Huntington Prep was been around for a while.
Yeah.
And that's been some of the top prep school. You had Mount Zion, you had Oak Hill. Well, Oak Hill's not really a prep, is it? It's like
I mean, yeah, it's a prep school.
they got housing and stuff like
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
But it's like Montverde just came out of nowhere.
But Montverde's like an actual school too.
Yeah.
Like that school is like huge.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a real like it's kind of like IMG.
I know IMG's been they produce.
Yeah, those.
And I know a lot of pros like football. They'll go and use their facility.
Yeah.
On their off season.
Yep.
So that's deep.
Yep.
Right. It's crazy.
So why did you return back to Canada to play prep?
Man, I went through a lot of injuries, man, and it was just like a difficult time. And people were just advising that I could just come back, play for a little bit, finish early, then go to Virginia Tech because I was committed. And yeah, man, it was tough. The injuries that started when I was like in my sophomore year of high school.
Yeah,
it just made my journey so like complicated.
Snowball effect.
There was a lot of just like I went through a 10-month period where I just didn't play any basketball.
10 months.
Yeah, where like it's funny because I didn't know it was gonna be that long. Like I got hurt like the summer before. Summer 2016 when I was playing for Boo Williams, and I was hurt for so long. They're like, "Yo, like we just have to give your spot up." So I was about to play for Team Mello. They bring me out there to work out. Everything goes well. I go to the airport like I can't even walk.
Oh wow.
So I was just like, all right, we'll see what happens. I missed the whole summer with Team Mello. I was supposed to play. I was on the roster. I didn't play one game. And then, I was just like, all right, we'll figure it out. And then, yeah, like when I committed to VT, they're like, we just think Jamie, my guy, was just like, yo, I think you just need to go hoop. You know, just because you haven't played in so long, you need to get healthy again. Let's go hoop. And I came back to Thornton Lee, and I think it was a good decision for me, you know, especially for my back. Like, that was a good way back into the game for me, you know, where I just was kind of like letting loose, just playing, kind of getting a feel for the game again, you know.
How
Before
does that
university.
feel though? Like coming from like high major basketball, then coming back to Canada. Like, was your confidence like this is over?
Because I went through so much with my injury, I was just happy to play again.
Right.
I was just playing.
Right.
I was playing with a back brace.
Oh shit.
Like it was like I was just happy to play. I was like, you know what? Like for 10 months, I didn't know if I was like I couldn't play. Like I was forcing it. Like I remember when it first happened, like somebody just threw me to the ground, and I was playing like some of my best basketball.
Right.
You know, like I got invited to like the top 100 camp, and I was hurt, and I was like, there's no way I'm not gonna play. You know, and it's like I got like an injection. I went to the camp. I'm hooping. You know, and I'm doing my thing against the top guys, and then like I got to like day 3, 4 of the camp, and I was just like, yo, nah. Like I on the plane back, I was like, I'm done. Like I didn't even play the rest of the summer.
Wow.
I only played top 100, and I didn't play any AAU. I was done.
So how the whole VTech, like how'd you get them? Was it
Man, it was
because that's high level, like that's ACC.
that was my first offer.
Really.
That was my first offer in grade 9. You know, when I was a freshman, they just came in early.
Was Jamie there for all 4 years, or
Jamie was, because Jamie was always with Buzz.
he's always with Buzz.
Shout out Coach McNeely, man.
You gotta
Jamie
show him some
McNeely,
love,
man.
man.
Scarborough's
That's my
finest right
guy.
there, man.
Yeah.
That's the dog right
That's
there.
my
And I
guy.
love how Buzz just everywhere he goes. Where's he at? Texas A&M, I want to say now. And Jamie's or is he over there? Is he at Texas A&M, or is he at the Froghorns, TCU? Anyway,
He's at TCU right now.
TCU, right?
Yeah.
But Buzz shows him love, man. So
No, for sure.
that's nice.
But honestly, it wasn't even Jamie at first. Like, it was a coach named Rock.
Rock.
He saw me.
Not Rock from here.
No.
Okay.
He saw me. He was on the coaching staff. He
Okay,
saw me.
okay.
He's like, yo, what's going on? Like, why haven't you played in so long? When are you going to be back playing? And then it was like my first practice, like my absolute first practice. Like, it was pickup. Buzz came. He's like, showing up. You know, so he came, and then he was like, all right, I'm coming. Because Rock was like, yo, we want to sign you, because they felt like all the other high majors kind of went away, and they knew the mids were still trying to like sign me. So he was like, nah, like we believe in you still. We want to help you get healthy. You know, they came, they saw me practice 2, 3 times. And, you know, because they've been following me for so long.
This made sense.
They were just like, yo, we're going to make sure we help you get healthy from now until you come. And, you know, we want to just get you back on track. So that was kind of their plan. And I appreciated them for that, you know, because
that's tough.
They really just wanted to see me like healthy again. And like, they didn't really feel like I was done. You know, because the injury hurt my recruiting so much. Like I lost everything.
Imagine not playing all summer.
Right, you know, all the schools are just like, where are you? Like, what's going on? I'm just here like, yo, like, I don't know.
So during that time, like, of just not chilling, but obviously trying to get right, were you writing?
Oh yeah, I had to. That was the only way I could make sense of what was happening.
Okay.
Because I feel like when I went to Huntington, that's something I picked up a lot. Because you're there. I was still doing it before, but even more there. I had so
you've
much.
been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, you know, like all my teammates know, like I was always just writing something and showing them. Like, yo, come take it. Come take in this freestyle I just wrote. Or like, you know, even just like a little voice note.
Right.
You know, like, or even just when we were like young, like when we were doing junior academy, when we were grade 8, we're always freestyling. And we thought we were good, you know, we weren't just joking around. So at least I did.
Facts.
You know? So like, I think by the time like I got to my injury where I was just like not playing and stuff, like I played for Team Canada, and you know, you get like a little check. I bought a home studio. Like I bought a microphone, I bought, you know, and I was just recording all the time. And that's really how I learned how to like record music. Because before it was just writing. Right? But then everything from there, like I would sell some of my shoes, go to the studio, Like I just wanted to make music.
When you were at VTech, like Buzz, like I don't know. I know I watch a lot of college basketball. I've been seeing Buzz from when he was at Marquette. I know he's super intense.
Yeah.
Like he's ready to rip his tie off and he's
Yeah.
sweating buckets. He's a real intense dude.
Yeah.
How was it playing for Buzz?
It was good because, it's like he likes when you match his intensity.
Yeah.
It's like
Buzz rips his tie off.
yeah,
and
he's crazy because he likes crazy. He
Right.
wants, not crazy, but like he wants people to be hungry.
Mm.
He'll do just like very odd things to test how much you want it. Like make you run on a treadmill for 5 miles every single day just
Crazy.
to test you,
Mhm.
see what you do, see if you break. It's, but I think what I learned again is like when you show up every day and, like you realize like there's a thin line, like you get the best out of yourself. Because that team went to the Sweet 16, and I don't think a lot of people thought that was going to happen.
Right.
Because we had injuries, we had this, we had that, guys that, ended up not being on the team anymore. Like everything was going bad. And we made it that far and lost by a buzzer beater or by 1 point to Duke. So to me, like I realized, I was like, man, like stuff he was saying worked.
Right.
Because guys were showing up every day, they bought in. And like that intensity stuff, sometimes, it's like, all right, all right, but at the same time, it's like,
chill, coach.
Yeah.
I hear you, man. Chill, man,
but
chill.
like, I feel like it created the culture where like guys were not giving up. Like Nikhil was a dog,
Mhm.
Ahmed Hill was a dog, KJ Blackshear, Justin Robinson, like just dogs,
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Your freshman year at VT.
Mm-hmm.
You want to just give me a quick rundown of how that was?
So I got to VT. They actually set it up so I could graduate high school early.
Nice.
So I get to the first summer session and Buzz sits me down. He's like, you're not touching the basketball for 6 weeks.
Mm.
If you go near a court, you're in trouble. You're doing rehab 2-3 times a day.
Oh, wow.
So I'm waking up in the morning, doing rehab, watching people who not allowed to touch the court, not even allowed to touch a ball. Like it was a joke. He's like, yo, you better not touch a ball. Like nothing for the whole 6 weeks. He's like, I go to class, I go to rehab. Like, no, I go to rehab, go to class, and come back, do more rehab. Then go do homework. And then second summer session came, working towards the season, kind of feeling better a little bit, going through the preseason, everything, we're having a great year. And we had a team. Like, I feel like that was probably the best team I've ever been a part of in my life.
There you go.
Because we were doing like, I remember there was one time in boot camp, like, I was tired, and Nikhil, he did it before. So like, he's like, yo, like, I'm trying to, because if you mess up, you have to come back again.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do the whole boot camp, not boot camp, but it was individual session again.
Right.
So he was counting on me. He's like, yo, I'm not coming back again. Like, and I was buzzed because I had to run before. I had to like run on the treadmill for like 5 miles. And I'm just there, I'm there. He's cheese. He's like, bro, today's not the day, bro. And we're going at it. We get into this big fight. And then from there, like, we killed it. We killed it from there. And it was like, I feel like that even brought us closer because it was like, that was like the culture and like the theme of the year. It was like guys going at it, pushing each other,
Right.
very intense. But then at the end of it, it was always the best thing. And I saw it over and over and over again. Like, especially when we beat Duke at home, because that's when Zion was there.
Right.
So we're prepping for like a week. Jamie's coming up with a crazy defense plan.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just there like, yeah, like we're locked in. Like everyone's locked in. Like we're really like, like dying to win this game. And then when we came out winning, we were like, yo, like this is what it is. Like we could win the chip. Like that's how we felt, And then unfortunately we lost to them in the Sweet 16, but still it's like, I think that was probably one of the best experiences of my life, just even though I wasn't even playing that much. Because mind you, the whole fall, it was just like me trying to get healthy, me not really being ready.
Right.
But at the same time, I kept showing up.
Right.
And then guys started going down. And then come ACC play, I'm playing more than I played against, like teams that weren't even ranked, and like coach started to trust me. And, like that gave me confidence because all they needed to see me do was just like show up, and I remember like, I think the highlight for me personally was when like fresh off of a game against Virginia, right? I played well. This Virginia that won the chip.
With Hunter on there.
Yeah.
Right.
So I didn't even play the game before, something like that. And then it's an intense game. He puts me in, and I play the rest of the game, like the last 10 minutes of the game, just because of my energy, right? So then, the coaches are like, that's why we need you. Even though we lost, they're like, that's why we need you to just always stay ready, da-da-da-da-da. And then I'm thinking, all right, like he's about to start playing me more.
Yeah.
And then we go to shoot around. I got to tell the story. We go to shoot around. We're at Pitt. We go to shoot around. And, I mess up. I think I messed up a play or something. He's like, get out. Just the young boy treatment. He's like, get out. I'm like, nah. He's like, get out. I'm like, I'm not getting out. And then like we're going back and forth. He's like, all right, stay in. Better not mess up. And then I had the best shoot around I ever had. So I'm like, okay, like I felt good. And then he's still not playing me. He's not playing me. And then guys got into foul trouble. And then I remember Jamie was like, yo, we got to play him. And then that was my best game,
Right.
So that's the story that like the whole coaching staff, they always remind me about. It's like, yo, that day when you held your ground and you believed in yourself, like that's the same energy you need to keep,
Day.
But then I think what's unfortunate is that like after that is when like I got hurt again, tore my hip. So then it was just like, it was tough, I actually think I mixed up the timeline. I think it was the Pitt and then Virginia, but same time frame. But I think that was highlight for me. And then, the rest of the year as a team, it was just like.
So no, I want to go back to that Zion when you guys played Duke, though. Because it's like, you're a freshman coming in and you got to go against Duke with Zion,
RJ, Cam
Reddish. There's and the point guard.
Yes.
Like they came in crazy. What was the biggest adjustment for you? Like when you're as a freshman, you come in the game, you're like, this guy Zion, this is not real. Because everybody went like, I'm talking like Canada was on notice. Everybody was on notice. Like Duke.
Yep.
I think it was more hyper focused on Duke because RJ Canadian,
of course.
and he was there. So
of course.
we started seeing a lot more Duke games in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
What was the biggest adjustment for you coming in as a freshman? Like seeing that speed, that strength. What was it for you?
I think for me, like what I realized is like it was confidence. You had to be confident. If you're not confident, it's gonna show and you're getting out.
Right.
It's like you're here for a reason. You got to believe you're here for a reason, even as a freshman. And like I think that's what
message.
That's really. I'm not saying be boneheaded and take whatever shot. But I'm saying like believe that you belong there.
Right.
Act like it. Focus. I think that was the biggest requirement, right? Because I saw how it was working for everybody else. I think you know what? My biggest example of what to do was Nikhil. Because it was like...
Shout out Nikhil Alexander. Man. Real talk.
Nah, for real. Because
real
that guy, he had confidence because he worked. Like, no matter how much he played, he was always showing up in the morning, working out, always making sure he was doing extra stuff, extra film. Like, I got all of it from him. I didn't know you were supposed to do all of that. I just thought it was just like, yeah, you work out, here and there. But he was just like, no, before practice, after practice.
That's why he's where he's at right now.
That's why he's at where he's at. And I saw it for myself, and like that made him confident. So I didn't just think confidence was going to come from nowhere. To me, I had to get to that point where I was like, okay, like I have to at least, do more, work out more, study more. And then I can have that confidence,
So I want to go back to this Duke game when you guys
on the Duke game, man.
Because I just remember that like Duke was like everybody in Toronto loved Duke.
Everybody.
How was that game? What did Zion do? Anything crazy? You have any stories for us?
There was two games. There was the game where he didn't play,
right,
and we won, and the game where he did play, where they won.
Because I remember he busted out of his sneakers or something like that.
Yeah, and then he was injured, so it was just like he didn't play. But I mean, you still have RJ and Cam Reddish and like every, like that was still a serious team.
Because that recruiting class was so crazy. I believe RJ was like 1 or Zion was 1, 2, 3. Like I think they were like it was all back to back with them 3.
Yep.
So that's crazy.
Was it Zion, Ja? Then
no, not in the draft. I'm saying the
high
class,
school,
high school class.
Okay.
So I think RJ was number 1 player in the country, and then I think Zion was next, and I think Cam was third.
Yeah, and they all went to
So it was like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
So I think that was like the first time that was ever done.
It's crazy.
But what was some stories to end the term? So this is the tournament you guys lose by 1.
Yeah.
No crazy stories. Like, what'd you see that was just like, yo, are you kidding me?
Honestly, like the game was just crazy in general.
To lose by 1, that had to have been crazy. I can't remember the game.
Yeah, I feel like, maybe just go back and see the game. But I think the craziest part is if anybody's watched the game, they know. We make a little comeback, and it was like a whole situation towards the end of the game. It was like they turned it over when they shouldn't have turned it over. We got the ball back. We thought the game was over. Then we had I think 0.3 or something like on the clock, right underneath the basket. I don't remember who drew up the play. Coach drew up the best play. It was the most perfect play I've seen executed. Shout out my man, Med, because I feel for him every time, Perfect play for him. He gets a perfect pass right in front of the rim.
Oh, yeah.
You saw that?
Yes.
Right in front of the rim.
Yes.
And it is what it is, I just feel it was just maybe the heat of the moment.
Right. He missed
I don't think he knew how much time he had on the clock.
Yeah.
Zion was right behind him.
Right.
So he had a lot on his mind, and then it just, I thought we won. Even if you see me on the bench, when he got that, I'm like, oh, we won. I'm jumping like we won. And he missed. I couldn't believe it. I was like, how?
Yeah.
But, that was probably the toughest moment because it was man,
where is he now? Where is he?
He's actually playing CBL this year.
Okay.
He's on Montreal right now. But
we gotta holler at him.
Yeah.
Remind him.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
Nah, but honestly, the thing is though, Med was such an important part to the team. Such a dog that it's you can't be mad at him for missing that.
No.
He did so much for the team,
Right.
he was a big glue guy. So if anybody was to take that shot, it was him.
Right.
And we know if he took that shot 9 more times, he would have made it.
Yeah. I only remember though from that tournament, I just remember when Duke played South Florida. Because Taco Fall was playing on that team.
Yeah.
And Duke did win.
They won.
Mm-hmm.
They won
that
that
was a
game.
crazy game. I remember that game.
I remember that.
So,
So medically disqualified. You want to go ahead, take us?
No. What does that mean? You know what I mean? I know Iggs was trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because I sorry to cut you guys off. I've never heard of that before in my life. I've heard of red shirt, you red shirt. If you're injured or whatever, you sit out. You can go to school, right? But I never actually heard of this before, and still reading up on it just doesn't make any sense. So
Right.
I want you to. How did this whole thing even come about? I want you to break that whole thing down. I think this is very important so people could see and understand what's going on.
Yeah. So like I said, I came in with the injury in my back.
Right.
And then when I tore my hip mid-season, February, and I didn't really know it was torn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm playing. And then summer comes around, I'm trying to work out and stuff and just getting up shots. I was feeling a lot of pain. So I kept seeing doctors. Long story short, they're like, yeah, you might just tore your labrum in your hip. You need to get a surgery, shave the bone, repair that. So I'm like, okay. So after that, I'm good, So we went through with that. I get the surgery. Surgery goes well, according to the doctors. And I'm doing rehab.
And this is sophomore year, right?
Yeah,
sophomore.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. It's a sophomore year, so I'm going in. To my sophomore year, everybody's gone because my team was all older. It's all new players. I was the only player that was one of the only few guys that was there last year that played. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna step into a bigger role. But it was just one of those situations where I wasn't healthy. I actually did not feel healthy. I couldn't. It wasn't some days I felt better and some days I was feeling worse. It was just every day in pain, my hip. So then speaking to the doctors, have all these follow-ups and rehab with the trainer and all this. And then, it got to a point where I was just telling them, I was like, yo, so what's going on? How is this feeling this way? According to the timeline, am I not supposed to be feeling different? Why is this slow? What's going on? And then, they were just basically explaining, they're like, yeah, different people recover differently or handle these surgeries differently.
Right.
And he's like, with a lot of the damage, like, yeah, like if you want to have a better long-term future, it's probably best that you don't play. He obviously can't tell me not to play, but then I was coming to the realization that, like, damn, like, I couldn't.
Like just don't play for the whole year, or?
No, it was just like in general. Because I was trying to play. Mind you, I was trying to work out. I'm playing pickup, like, and it's like, I feel like it was going good. Again, this is kind of before the surgery. I feel like it's going good. Like, I think it is, but it wasn't. Like, when you have an injury and like it hurts a little bit, but then you kind of get over that hump where it's like kind of normal again. It was just never normal again. So then I was just like, all right, like what does this mean? What do I do? Did something go wrong with the surgery? Do I have to do this? Do I have to do that? And then, I told the coach, I was like, you know what? Like, I know the doctor can't really make a decision for me, but it's like, I've been trying. I don't know what's going on. Like, this doesn't even feel right anymore. Like, I'm waking up every day, like, just struggling, because the recovering from the surgery itself was hard. Like, just having to go like 2 weeks, no walking, and then learning how to walk again and training your muscles to run again. So I felt like I was getting progress, but then it was just like going up and down, playing at a high level. I just knew based on how I was feeling every day, is like, I'm not gonna do that. Like it wasn't even, I didn't get to that point yet. And then the coach is like, look, man, like, it's not like you're just gonna, drop out of school. Like, like these things happen, like there are rules in place for stuff like this, like, especially because like there's medical records. Doctors know what's going on. It's not like a player can just say, I want to medically disqualify.
Right.
Like there's a conversation amongst the doctors and people like in the athletic department, and they're like, look, this is what's going on. And then they kind of like, the coach, I guess, presents it. And they say, okay, like, yeah, he's still going to be treated as if he was a scholarship athlete. He just doesn't have to play.
Right.
So, yeah, I didn't even know about that until it happened, because I was just talking to my coach. Like, I just went to his office. I'm like, coach, like, I don't know what's going on. Like, this shouldn't be happening. Like, you guys see me here doing rehab every day. Like,
why aren't you getting better?
Why is this, And I was just like, I think I just need to focus, because it was driving me crazy. I was like, I wanted to hoop. Like, especially at this point in my career, like, I wanted to hoop.
Still young, man.
Yeah, I was like, and this was my time. Everybody left. I did pay my dues. I was ready to hoop. So, like, obviously, like, I was just like, damn, you know what? It is what it is. And then, yeah, I was there for the other 2-3 years and just finished school. And yeah, I think because I did creative writing in school, and obviously I was doing music, stuff that I was doing on the basketball side was just like doing stuff with the media team, the basketball journalists and stuff like that. Just really tapping into that side. But there was a period where I was just like, and even they understood. They're like, you need to just take a break, and just focus on school. Like, it's cool, because it was tough, just like I still lived with my teammates, so it was like we still were close, but it was like there was always that disconnect.
How was that? Sure.
Where I was like, I'm not even hooping anymore. They showed love. It was always love. It's like still my guys, but
you travel with them? Away games?
The first year I did.
Okay.
First year I did, and the second year I was just like, I gotta just figure this out. I gotta find some new energy, because it was just kind of, was getting to me.
So at this point, were you saying goodbye to the game of basketball, or were you just like, listen, I'm gonna take some time off and try to make a comeback? Was this the time when you were like, it's over?
No, because it wasn't immediate. I thought I was coming back. Like, initially when I first got hurt, I thought I was like, okay, I get the surgery, I'm out for, what was it, like 6 to 12 months, and then I'm back.
Right.
So the whole time I was going through it, I was coming back. Like, like I was supposed to redshirt or sit out for a certain amount of games and try to come back. And that's what like my rehab was like. My rehab was like, I wasn't going up and down, but I'm on the bike. I'm doing different things, like retraining myself on how to run, maybe shooting some free throws.
Right.
Every day I'm doing something that's different from the other team, just trying to make it back, because you know, I had to play. And I'm still at practice. I'm still learning the plays. Like everything was still kind of like geared towards coming back on the court,
Mm.
you know, from summer up until it was like December when like finally made a decision, like, you know, kind of just shut it down. So yeah, I mean, even after the decision, I was like, yo, can I play? You know, like there was, but then it was just like the pain, like, you know, that's the one thing that really like always grounded me. It was like, I couldn't even get away from like the pain, like just walking around campus, like I would be in pain,
Wow.
like a lot of pain, you know? So it was
Were your
pissing me off, you
classes
know?
were your classes like a distance apart?
Yeah, you know, you kind of do have to walk around, you know,
Yeah.
campus, you know, like it was tough, man. Like, because I was just like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm 20 years old. Like, I want to hoop. I know I can hoop. I made it this far. But then, like, what I was feeling in my body, I was just like, how did it even get to this point? I had the surgery. I had everything. You know, I felt like I had everything and it shouldn't go that way.
So what did like the doctor say anything to you about like why this is happening the way it is?
I mean, it's just like a combination of things, you know, there was just a lot of damage done.
Yeah.
You know, it was just like I didn't even know it was torn for a minute, right? Like it took me a couple months to find out it was actually torn. You know, like because I was just playing. That's what I'm saying. I'm just playing.
Right.
You know, and then it kept getting worse and worse and worse. And then yeah, go ahead.
It's so. I always look at just you can come back from any injury, man. Especially like nowadays, like
Nah,
technology is
facts.
so crazy. Like torn Achilles, guys are coming back. We just seen KD come back from torn Achilles. Back then, when Dominique and that stuff was happening, it was kind of
different. It's
different, right? So I'm just looking at the times like it wasn't that long ago
Right.
that you were in this position.
Right.
So it's like damn, like the doctors. It's so hard for me to like envision like the doctors like we can't do nothing at all.
And I don't think that's not what they said, you know.
Right.
Because they didn't want to crush me.
Right.
You know, it wasn't like they were like, oh, we can't do anything, stop playing. That's not what happened. We tried a lot of things. Even after, like 2-3 years after I was playing, I was still getting procedures.
Oh.
You know? So it's like, right before I left, I had one more procedure. So it's like, it wasn't even like they didn't think they could fix it. They were trying to, and things were going well, but it's just like the playing aspect. Like,
Just
you know,
playing
like,
on a high level is just
yeah, because like no matter what, the pain, they would always ask me, so is the pain gone? I'd be like, no, like it's not. Because that's the whole point. You're supposed to do things and not have a certain level of pain anymore.
Right.
And it was just like just walking for a certain amount of time, I still had high level pain. Because it was like a chart that we'd fill up. So okay, how much pain do you feel after walking 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes? And it was getting better and then it just plateaued. It was like I got to like 20 and it just wasn't changing for like months. You know? And then it was stressing me out because I thought I was gonna come back in like January or at least be back practicing, you know, going up and down. But I wasn't getting past that. And I had everything. You know, I had special attention. I had, like, you know, good everything.
Yeah. And it just wasn't.
It was working to a certain degree,
right.
but then not to like what I wanted for myself. You know, I wanted to be able to hoop. Like I'm still grateful that like I had a successful surgery.
Yeah.
I could live my life. You know, I don't have a hip replacement. And that was the biggest thing. He's like, you know what? Like, you got to protect yourself because this is one procedure. You don't want to be having a hip replacement at 30.
Right.
You know, and that's one of the things I really like. When I realized that, like the doctor was happy because he knew what was going on. He couldn't force the decision, but like he was happy that I came to the conclusion because it was like all they could do is provide the facts. You know, you have to say what you're gonna do.
It's up to you at the end of the day, right?
But it was like I felt like I kind of didn't even have a choice because I wanted to play. I wanted to play, and then like, you know, it just wasn't working. I think he was just more so happy that like I was like able to kind of accept it. But I feel like it still took me like a minute to accept it.
At what year was it when you accepted that?
I would say maybe even like this year.
Wow.
You know, took time because I was just like, I was so confused because I was doubting myself. I was like, every day I'd wake up, I'd be like, is it that bad? And I'd go through a day and I'd be like, yes, it is. And it was a cycle. You know, like I would wake up, I'd be like, there's no way I can't hoop. I could definitely hoop. Go through a day, it's like, no, you can't. You know, it was like it was a hard reality to deal with. Like it was a cycle, you know, and I think
the mental versus the physical.
Exactly, you know, because I played through injury before. Mind you, I had the whole back thing.
Right.
I was figuring that out. Went through the whole season with it. I'm like, I can hoop. It's not that I knew that I could hoop through injury, you know. But then like this was the first time where like it was actually stopping me, and like on a daily, it was just something different. So I think when I kind of came back home, because mind you, I'm on a campus that knows me as a basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm there for 3 other years, not even playing basketball.
Yeah.
So it just felt weird.
Of course.
Like it was a weird 3 years after.
Hold up. Were you writing?
Of course. Of course. Of course.
So my question is, like, you have a plethora of stuff you've been writing while you were on this journey.
Mm-hmm.
What got you into music?
I started writing with music, right? Like I learned how to write with music. I learned like the art of writing through reading lyrics, stuff like that. So I feel like I had to find something else to be passionate about during those times. Mm-hmm. You know, because like it was hard to be passionate about basketball because I was, but I couldn't play and I wanted to play. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, then it was getting to the point where I couldn't even watch. And I'm like, all right, something's off. If I can't watch now, like I gotta be able to be passionate about something. And then, you know, as I was focusing on music, like I think a year later, like by like I would say like my 4th year of like I finally kind of was able to like watch basketball again and stuff. Because it was tough. I watch a game and I'd be like, yo, I don't want to watch.
That's one question I always like to ask everybody, especially guys who are not playing anymore. Like, did you get to leave the game on your own terms? Mm-hmm. Right. That's a tough thing. Like when you love something so much and you've been working with it. I don't even think Melo left on his own terms. I just think like, man, ain't nobody picking me up. No. I got so much money. I'm not going overseas.
Right.
Like,
I ain't going to Taiwan.
I'm not going to Taiwan.
Right.
Right. So I think he still wants to play. Like if the Lakers say, "Hey, come on," I think Melo's is gonna go play, right? But I just think that's a tough one to just this game that you love so much and you start from young now, and not being able to leave on your own terms is gotta be the toughest thing, especially like that. Especially when you know you got so much more to give. Yep. That's a tough one, man.
But I feel like it made me learn a lot quick. It made me learn like things could come and go like that. Because I didn't see that coming. That's not what I thought was gonna happen. Like that's the last thing I thought was gonna happen. But then it was happening.
Because you dealt with injuries before, but it's like this one was just like you got through those injuries. So now it's like, okay, it's cool. I'll get through this one. I'll be back.
Exactly.
It's tough.
And that's what I think what was the hardest one. It was like always feeling like you could overcome something. And not that you can't overcome things, but it's like I felt like I was always able to like get the outcome I wanted. Like by work. You know, it's like, all right, like my back was hurt. Like it took 10 months, then I figured it out. Had a back brace and everything. I figured it out. I played a whole university season. So I was like, why can't I do the same thing with this injury? You know? But it was just like a combination of them. It was just it had a different impact on my body. You know? So that's tough, like there's definitely like, I mean, IT, you know, had it. And, you know, obviously like he came back, was tough a little bit. And like I said earlier, there was a person on the girls team. She was kind of going through the same thing. Yeah. She had a labral tear. And I think she tore like 3 times, like trying to like play over and over again. And we DQ'd at the same time with the same injury. So like, I was like, because I was looking at the people that did make it through. I'm like, okay, you know, some people make it through. But then I saw right in front of me, like right next to me, we had the same therapist, physical therapist and everything. And like, I won't say it's because of what we had, because I think what we had was good. But it was just like, you know, bodies are different. I don't know. I can't explain it, you know? Like, I wish I had, but it's like, we've seen it before. Like, sometimes, like, some injuries, they just get the best of some people at some point.
Real talk.
Anyways, give me your top five rappers of all time.
Top 5 rappers of all time.
Who would you put in there? For me, I'll say myself. You got Jay at first, one? I got Pac or Biggie. You can flip flop. 1A, 1B. Then I got Hove. I'll put Hove at 3. I'll put Pac, Biggie, Hove, Nas, DMX. That's my top 5.
And is just your personal or just you?
This is my personal.
Okay.
I get a lot of flack because I don't have Drake in my top 5. I'm saying I don't really just go off of just accomplishments and like streams.
Right.
If I do that, then of course he's gonna be up there. But Drake is in my top 10. But that's just for me. When they say, why do you have DMX? Like DMX dropped 2 platinum albums the same year.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
He dropped one in January, then he dropped one in December. Both went platinum.
That's different.
You know, he was a beast lyric-wise.
Yeah.
I know Biggie didn't accomplish a lot as far as albums, but the impact of as far as his music is like, we're still bumping Biggie no matter what. He only has 2 albums. Some people don't even know that. They're like, Biggie only got 2 albums? Yes. That's strong. Tupac, Keep Your Head Up is probably, it is my favorite hip-hop song of all times. Keep Your Head Up by Tupac. So impactful. So, and then, you know, Nas is, Nas is still dropping music.
Nas
and
is still
what can we say about
too.
Still going crazy. He about to drop an album.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nas is on a different level.
And then, you know, Hove, you know, what can we say about Hove? Like, Hove been setting trends. He been doing so much things to inspire a bunch of people, like rapper, billionaire, you know, who doesn't want that type of life, right?
Yes.
So,
okay.
Not 50 Cent. 50 Cent is not it. Nursery rhymes, I don't really rock with nursery rhymes. But go ahead. Who's your top 5, girl?
I would say for me, my top 5, I pick it based off like who I would say I'm inspired by the most, who I listen to the most, and like who I could like. It's obvious by like my knowledge of them that like they're in my top 5. So like I'm sure some people probably think some people rap better or whatever. But for me, what I listen to the most. So I think number 1, I'll say this: number 1 in general is Jay-Z to me. Just like I feel like we should all universally agree that Jay-Z is the probably the best rapper.
Should let him know that. Let this guy over there know.
But personally,
he doesn't seem to think that.
For me personally, Kendrick Lamar is my favorite. Personally, he's my favorite, and then it would be Drake, and then it would be Kanye. I know Kanye's tripping, but just as an artist, you know, you know everything that he's done. Like,
bottom line,
you know, and then it would be J. Cole. I put
you as an artist. I get J. Cole vibes.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
You know, like
that's what I get.
I listen to
all your music.
Yeah, I listen to J. Cole a lot. You know, like that's a big inspiration from when I was young.
Dope.
And then so I said Kendrick, Drake, Kanye, J. Cole. That was 5, right?
Yeah, that's 5.
Okay,
that's a tough list.
Very, very tough list right there. I mean, both y'all lists were very tough. You know, a fact to follow.
Definitely,
but I'm gonna follow it.
You sure you want to do that?
I'm sure. Like, man, it's me. Like you said, it's what I like to listen to.
Yeah.
Right?
So when we ride around with you in the car.
Number one, we'll go to Nas. You know what I mean? Number 2, we'll go to 50. Number 3, we'll go to Drake.
You know, we about got time to go now.
Number 4.
50 at 2 is crazy. That's
50
crazy.
50 at 2. Right? Shout out 50, you know, July 31st. I'll be there.
He had all the G-Unit sneakers.
I'll be there.
He had the brassiere top.
I got
he was rocking all that stuff.
I got the starter package for July 31st at Scotiabank. Is it Scotiabank Arena?
I will not be there, but yes.
I will be there representing Hip Hop Hoops. Don't worry, I'm there. Right?
Don't kill me.
All right? Busta Rhymes has to go up there.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Ooh,
Busta's tough.
Yeah.
Amazing performer.
And he's very lyrical. Please. Is that 4?
That's 4.
That's 4. My 5th.
You say Lil Wayne?
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, my 5th has to go.
I think Lil Wayne is
Lil Wayne has to be in there for me.
He's tough.
Like
from the block.
I want to say Lil Wayne is like the hottest rapper from the South of all time for me.
Well, he's calling himself. I overhear him say he's the best rapper ever. Like he said it.
Man, his catalog and then he can rap, man. And he doesn't rap to me like that typical down south.
Right.
I think he was
arcs. Like,
inspired
he's
by Jigga though a little bit.
Yeah, facts.
Right?
those lyrics. So I
Right.
think Wayne is definitely top 10 for me. I gotta put him in there.
Definitely.
I gotta put him in there, man. He had a run was crazy.
Yeah.
Where he was on everybody's hook.
Yep.
Mm.
He was
Feeling
just
it.
going crazy.
Feeling it.
So man,
Oh,
Wayne is tough to keep out the top 5.
I got one
definitely.
more question though. One more question. Like I just heard J. Cole was kind of was the reason or one of the reasons why what's homeboy's name that went off in Game 7 against the Celtics?
Well, Caleb
On
Martin.
Miami, right? Caleb Martin, right? So it's kind of J. Cole working out with him, where they got a relationship.
Right.
J. Cole reached out to Karan
Karan
Butler,
Butler, yeah.
and that's how Martin
He
got
got on
onto
the team.
on the team.
Mm.
You pretty much knowing a lot of basketball guys, right? If you had the opportunity, to talk to, whoever's gonna be in Raptors front office or whatnot, who would you put on? A
That's a good
hooper that
question.
Come on,
that is
man.
thoroughbred.
Come
that,
on, man.
You know what I mean?
Come on, man.
Needs a spot in the league.
So I got a few.
Let's
That's
go,
a good
baby.
I
question.
got a few.
That's a
Let's
good
go,
question.
baby.
I
Very
got
good
a few.
question.
First of all, we need my boy Marcus Carr at the 1.
Come on.
Ooh, Texas went crazy.
All right.
Let's hope he
My
gets
boy-
drafted this year too, man.
I hope so.
Let's
yeah.
go.
My boy Jabril Price Noel is a pro.
Let's go.
Hooper. My boy Keyshawn Saunders,
Mhm.
the bucket getter. But nah, I feel like all jokes aside, like there's a lot of guys that I know
Mhm.
that could really hoop, like really, really hoop. And I really hope that like, a lot of these guys that I came up with get pro careers, man. Because like it's tough. Like I see a lot of people go through it, especially generations before me. It's just
Yeah.
like it's such a grind,
It is.
and like I know how good that opportunity probably feels, and I know a lot of people can definitely make the most out of it. So, and I mean, I think, Marcus being somebody that's like a draft prospect right now,
Tough.
like, that's one of my closest friends.
Tough.
I really hope that, he gets the respect he deserves for what he's done, like,
Right.
like we talk about it as a group all the time, like to him, we always remind him like, yo, like, don't forget what you do. I think he has the most college points for any Canadian or something like that.
He's a bucket
Might be.
getter.
Yeah, right? Something
Might
like
be.
that. So it's like,
Might be.
he's very like, doesn't speak about.
That's
what
well over 1,000 then. Yeah.
He doesn't really speak too much about, what he's done or what he wants from the game, but like we always encourage him,
Humble kid.
You think Mark's gonna beat Denham?
Yeah,
passed it?
he's already passed them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he already passed them.
That's dope.
So
That's
I
dope.
hope he really, really, ends up on the roster. And it's like, shoot, Raptors could use him. They
Hell
could use a guard like him.
Definitely.
I believe so. So
Raptors, please. We already lost Nurse. Come on, man. Please, man.
Lost him to Philly too.
Oh my gosh, disrespectful.
I want to go back to your music, man.
Yeah.
Getting started, mysterious vibes,
Mm.
decisions.
Decisions.
I got a story,
Decisions slaps.
man.
you guys are going back.
We want to go back. Getting started. You're doing your own videos,
Yeah.
like
Yes.
man, it's tough.
Appreciate it.
It's tough, bro. Like I'm really taking it in, and I'm seeing it. I'm like, bro, this guy's an artist.
He's an
man.
I
artist.
appreciate it.
Like he's a legit artist.
You
Like
feel me?
no game. So I just want to commend you, man, for the
Appreciate
stuff,
that.
man.
Thank you.
Keep it going, brother.
Thank you,
We're
thank you.
supportive. We're big fans. I'm so glad we're able to get it done
Yeah.
because this is. I'm talking from. We were at office hours
I know.
last year when we did the live on set office
Right.
hours, and like we was like, yo, let's sit down, man. I think you're dope.
It's the
You know,
right time.
he was a fan of what we were doing, so I'm
Yes.
so glad we're able to get
Thank
it
you.
done, man.
And
You
I
know,
mean,
it's the right time.
free the guys, I get it. But I feel like now the Toronto rap scenes, you're really gonna see. Then now that we got the attention of the world,
Mm,
we're really gonna start seeing art in hip hop. You know what I mean? Seeing what Jay has been doing. You know what I mean? I'm giving you flowers now. Hold the
I
emoji
appreciate it.
flowers. You know what I mean? But like real talk, watch. I'm seeing it. I'm saying it. It's about that time for different style of rap. More lyrics. You know what I mean? More content,
mm,
more creativity.
yeah.
You feel me? That's about to take over the streams, I feel, coming out of Toronto.
Mm.
You know what I mean? At the same time, not knocking, the
Nah,
op
nah,
block,
nah.
the op rap and all that, and free the guys. I'm just saying, we're gonna get a chance.
Free the guys.
We're gonna get a chance to experience a new level. We're about to level up in the hip hop game, I feel. So I feel you're gonna be one of the guys leading it. So let's do it.
I appreciate that, man.
J. Cole is a basketball player for Shooting Stars or an artist?
That's a crazy question.
Okay, we'll take it out from there. You want
man.
No,
Jay, yo, where can everybody follow you on social
and your
media
music,
platforms?
and your music.
So this camera?
Yes, sir.
So you guys can follow me on IG, Jon Kabongo, JonKabongo.
Yes.
Same thing on Spotify, Apple Music, everything. It's the same all across all platforms.
We got any new projects coming out?
Yes.
You work, obviously.
Yes.
Man's been writing
let's get
for
it
days.
out. Let's get it out.
For years. Come on.
All I can say is September's gonna get real scary.
Ooh, back to school. Back to school. Let's go.
I feel like, I got a really dope project titled City News at 6. People are gonna love it. People are gonna be entertained. We got some more single dropping this summer.
Yes.
So be on the lookout, man. I feel like I'm definitely improving as an artist, and I can't wait for the people in the city or just the world to see it, So
Let's
be on the
go.
lookout for sure.
Well, we'll be looking out. We'll
Facts.
be posting it. We'll be promoting it on
Facts.
our social media platform.
Appreciate
You're an alumni. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So we look out for our alums.
Say less.
You
Facts.
feel me?
Say less.
That's one thing we do for sure, man.
Say less.
But continue to grind. We watching. We supporting. Thank you.
Appreciate that.
You know what I mean? And that's gonna do it, man. You can follow us, man, at Hip Hop Hoops on Instagram, YouTube. Share, like, comment, build up the algorithm and all that good stuff. Follow our website, man.
Shout out Tidal League.
Shout out Tidal League. Emoji Cousins, man. I'm sorry if you don't got an iPhone. You ain't gonna see the emoji, but you know what I'm talking about. Android, love you too, man. And we out.
Let's
We're
go.
Hip Hop Meets Hoops. Let's go.